What's up everyone, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna bring you some news for months in SaGa UniverSe. They just announced a new banner and a new event, and they are both related to 2.5 anniversary eve. That means that we are entering anniversary and we should be excited. The half anniversaries are usually better than the main ones, at least from my experience. This banner is called SaGa Soul Mage, and it brings characters from Romancing Saga 1 Minstrel Song. Red Mage is actually a minion, so he shares inheritances with Strife and Scorn. And there is also Freely and Flamar. These characters come from Romancing Saga 1 Minstrel Song. SaGa Soul Banners usually brings characters that are not as popular as main characters with different mechanics, and that's exactly what they did here. So, well, let's go back here and check the new event. It's called 2.5 Anniversary Eve Appreciation Battle. This one is actually pretty interesting. Hope it lasts for some time. It will help you get to 2020 HP. Remember, that's always 10 more than the game says. And you start the fight with 20 BP. You get 5 times the style experience, so very good for new players. And your skills and spells will rank out easier. So it's just like Seeker's Path without having bad status caps, and you also be getting drops for the event, maybe materials, so very nice moment for farming. And you'll also be able to get this double S staff that has fire and shadow elements for Red Mage or Strike or Scorn. And there is also a Nest staff, I don't know if it says here, yes it does, and this one will probably be similar to the exclusive global staff for Rock Bouquet. So you'll be able to choose between an S or double S depending on the characters. Now, there's this new community event here called 2.5 Anniversary Warm-Up, Red and Blue Pep Rally. Well, this event here is pretty funny. Depending on your player ID, you will be part of any of the two groups. You see by the end of your player ID, you'll be chosen for one of the groups, and then you have to download the digital card and then post a message here on Twitter, on Facebook, and you participate, and with that we'll be able to get some amazing rewards that I don't know which one they are because they didn't explain on here. But let's do this. Community events are nice. So here we are on Reddit. Thank you so much, Hands for A3, for your amazing posts, as always, very informative. It's translated from the video from the Taiwanese community. And the first character is Flamer. She was buffed in both skills and status. The first thing here we have is that she's focused on agility and intelligence. The values were pretty bad. They buffed her intelligence but didn't choose to buff agility. But now her will is just so high that she won't have so much problems negating status elements and reducing the magical attacks. But having very low agility will be detrimental. So here we are on Reddit in a post by Hands4A3. Thank you so much for doing this amazing job as always. It was translated from the Taiwanese video, and all characters got some types of buffs, sadly not as much as I wanted. Flamer is actually a happier user and she got buffed for intelligence and will, but sadly they left her agility on 74%. You know that mages need both agility and intelligence for accuracy, and this may bring problems in the first turn. She may miss against very hard challenges. Her endurance is pretty average, and that's it. Will is just so good that she may not get inflicted with ailments against some bosses, although it gets just better and better since she buffs 15% intelligence, and Will has a 25% chance to self-heal and get 3 BP because she has a very costly attack, and reduces damage by 10% and starts the fight with 12 BP. Because her best attack is her AoE S-powered Heat one, that's just plain damage, and she can open with this for farming scenarios. In boss fights, I don't know how useful this will be because, well, after she uses this attack, she will have to rely on using normal attacks based on dexterity up till she gets enough PP. Sometimes she may trigger passive one to use this skill again. Or she can choose just to use her single target attack with 3 BP. That is good. It has C power, heals her a little, and also buffs her intelligence by up to 25%. The problem is that if you are going for a single target, you only have the weak attack. You will not have a moment to do nuke in overdrive. You have to rely on your AoE attack, so it's not as powerful. And if you want to go for AoE, you only have the powerful attack, you don't have the weak one. That's why she needed an S style to inherit from. So you could choose another skill to compensate. But her selling point may be the second skill that uses 5 VP and 1 LP and grants revive to a character. So it will revive with a lot of HP, around 1000 or to 1.2 thousand. But if a character dies, it loses all buffs that were applied, like status buff, guard up, and everything. It's gone. So if you are on a very hard challenge and the boss kills that character and it revives on the end of a turn, you have to reapply all your buffs again, and it may not be enough, and this character may just die again. So it's interesting in theory, but not so good on execution. Sadly, this character does not have much utility in the game, and it's very easy to skip. And the second character is Freely. She's a great sword user, and she's a nuker for farming scenarios, although they did something here that makes no much sense to me. They didn't choose to increase her STR, for example. Instead, they buffed her endurance and will, and those status are used for boss fights. Her agility is not that high, but it doesn't need to be, since her best skills are fast. She has very high intelligence because she's a hybrid character, and it's also a waste since the skill that is hybrid is not that interesting. Well, Freely is pretty unique. She starts petrified, and that petrified status lasts for 1 turn. Yes, that's right. Because of lore reasons. She will be petrified for 1 turn. On turn 2 onwards, she's a normal character, but in this game, when you are petrified, paralyzer, or things like that, you lose formation bonuses, you lose effects like guard up, status effects, so you take plenty of damage. And this can be detrimental. She may just die if you are bringing her for boss fights, but she was not exactly built up like that, but more into that later. The good thing is that because of this drawback, she has 60% damage increase with passive 1, and then she gets 15% more with the second one, starts the fight with 12, and the third passive gives her 5% FTR, 5% intelligence, and 1 VP. It's not as I wanted, because if she was just a nuker, it would be much better to just get like 15 or 20% buff to just STR and stay like that. But the problem here is that skill number 3 is fast, that's good, and it gives her heat up medium for 10% damage increase for the whole fight, but if you cost 2 LP, you can only cast this twice, and it also gives her defense up by 10%, the reduction in damage that lasts for the whole fight. You see that these things here are usually for long fights, but she can only use this AoE attack 2 times. After that, she only has a very weak AoE attack or a single target attack that's more about utility than anything else. So the good thing is that by getting access to 12 and 2 BP per turn, she reaches 20 BP by turn 3. So turn 1 you are petrified, then turn 2 you can use the fast attack, turn 3 you can use the fast attack again. It has S power, so it will do plenty of damage, but it's just plain slash. If it was at least slash plus code, it would be much better. So the second skill is just a wind spell that does cold damage. So you need a wind greatsword in order to use this to do cold damage, and then has a medium chance to paralyze and a small chance to inflict unconsciousness. We just got the free welfare Rick that it's much better on doing this, and she can only instant kill targets on turn 2 beyond, so it's not even interesting. So hence this character was made up more for farming, and I don't see much utility on boss fights. Even through the buffet endurance and will, it makes no sense to me. Other character that's easy to skip. Then there is Red Mage, and at least Red Mage is pretty good. They buffed his agility to 100%, that's nice, the buffers like big agility. Intelligence is now 116%, that is top of the game. Will is 91, good enough as well to just not get inflicted with status ailments, and endurance is kinda a little above the average for mages. So the status that matters are pretty good, right? And then he also buffed his charisma to 55 because he can self-heal. This character has a very interesting passive number 1. When he attacks, he gets a very small heal of around 160, and there's also 50% chance to attack, drain energy, plus a B power single target shadow spell that will also recover HP by around 800. So if this attack triggers, you are getting around 900 to 1000 HP heal with this character. But there's more to that. Every time that he attacks, he also debuffs will by 5% of the enemy, and also recovers 1 BP. So BP is not a problem, and he is one of the best will debuffers in the game by inheritance of Fire Hat from Strife. He gets 20% will debuff at all times, and if he triggers Drain Energy Plus 50% of the time, he will also debuff will again, reaching between 20 or 25% will debuff on every turn that he attacks. It's pretty similar to Ruby from another SaGa Soul Banner. Ruby has a 15% debuff with active and a 50% chance to get under 15 by passive, reaching as much as 30%. On average, these characters are actually pretty similar, and they are the best on what they do. You can even stack them if you want for very good ailment chances on turn 1, and things like the Pandemonium Tower, where enemies have like 500 resistance, but you can still apply ailments to that. There's some good utility on this. And then he has high protect tension, decreasing damage that he receives, and also increasing his own a little. So pretty sustainable and even good when dealing damage. Sadly, he does not buff his own intelligence, so you have to use him in formations like maybe Anime String on the plus 15% intelligence, depending on the enemy, but I believe most of the time plus 25 will suffice. Then, for skills, we have plenty of different effects. He can stun with medium chance, and it's only 3 BP. That means that he can just stun lock a target. And since he is debuffing will, it kind of works. Then the second one is a single target attack that can inflict confusion with medium chance. That's actually pretty good. Sadly, it's just medium, so it will work more on challenges where there's only one enemy, but these are most of the times where we want to apply these things anyway. And the third attack is a nuke that has triple S power. We saw this before. It's Dark Wash Plus and applies buff break. So if a boss is buffing its status too much, you just stop that so that you can survive. So there's also plenty of inheritances with this character. He can also poison, and Fire Hat that debuffs will is the best inheritance most of the time. He is a premium character, and one that will help people that need status inflictors. I have plenty of them, so that's why I don't need. But I don't know, the value of the banner decreases a lot since the 2 companions are extremely niche and don't have any future. This is the last version of minions, like I said, Red Mage, Strife, and Scorn, but they do have utility. The other characters don't have any future, and we will just forget about them in some months. That's the real thing. So at least if you want to skip. If you like the characters, anyway, you can summon, but remember that there will be more anniversary banners and more Minstrel Song banners, and they will be much better than this one. It will receive only a bronze award, so tell me, will you summon for them? What is your opinion? Please see here in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. I want to see you again in the next one. Bye.